Hi, today's topic for Love Revolution is going to be about change, deciding when to change and when not to change. The first part of this requires that you take an honest self-assessment. And this is not just with, romantic relationships. You can do this honest self-assessment with the way that you're a parent, with how you interact with people in your professional life, interpersonal life, or even with your spiritual development and spiritual decisions. Honest self-assessment is huge. So we're going to break it down a little bit. Each of my video clips today are going to talk about honest self-assessment in each of these different areas. And then we're going to end with deciding when to change and when not to change, because change is not always a good thing. In most cases it is, but you've got to be true and honest to yourself first. Peace. It's time for part 2 of the discussion about when to change and when not to change. The first step of this requires that you do some honest self-assessment. Look at your relationships as a parent, as a professional in your business or your coworker situation, your relationships, and whatever else that you may work on. How do you interact with other people? What roles do you typically fill? And how do you handle conflict? That is a major one. How do you typically interact with other people? Now, look at the habits and trends in your life. What is it that you follow? What do you do in your life? How do you interact with people? How do people react to your habits? And ask yourself if your current habits are successful for the relationships and connections and interactions that you have. Now, if you want to improve them, then find ways to make modifications or find people who are compatible with the way that you already function. And that's what we're going to talk about in the part 3 of this video. So how do you locate people who are compatible with you in the way that you currently and presently function? Well, that comes with creating your disclaimer, having these honest conversations about how you handle conflict, how do you handle financial or health struggles, what is your typical reaction, just being honest about it. Now, if any of these reactions are typically unhealthy or maybe unhealthy for yourself or unhealthy for others or for both, those are the things that you should consider making modifications and changes. For example, that's part of the reason why I love to go boxing, because for me, it helps me flow out that aggression and that irritation and frustration with whatever life struggles may come up. It helps me better manage them. I also use yoga and meditation to help manage my own stress levels so that I don't take it out on anyone else. Being honest about these things doesn't mean that you have a problem. It's actually a strength to be honest about these things and to work with your partner on finding strategies to get past it. So at the end of the day, whenever you're looking for a love, you're looking for a lover who's going to accept you as you are, for the healthy things that you do, for the habits that don't completely derail yourself or others. And if there are any unhealthy habits, you look for a lover who's willing to work with you through those things. Now, no one should be judged for what they are or are not willing to change. And also, no one should be judged for what they are or are not willing to accept in a partner. Everyone has their own set of expectations and their own way of being, and that should be respected. At the end of the day, what you're looking for is someone who's willing to accept you as you are and willing to work with you through the changes. Those that aren't compatible for you. So at the end of the day, when you're trying to decide what you should and should not change, these are the things that you should consider. Peace.